Hi, my name is Nyla, and I am 7 years old. I like my astronomy class, and I am loving it. And I've been learning my planets like the moon and Earth and the Venus, Mercury, and astronomy class is awesome. I've been learning about like Egypt and yeah, that stuff. And king and queens and yeah, and pyramids and yeah.
What do you think thus far of the International Homeschool Program?
I believe it's the best investment I could have made for my daughter and for myself as well, because learning astronomy and African heritage, it was needed. It was much needed, and
Yes, family, blessed love. Once again, give thanks for your presence with us. Of course, we glorify the life giver and the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie the First. What a joy that you could definitely come and sit and sup with us again in the Tiger's Nest. Of course, love to each and everyone internationally. And of course, it's an honor that you are here with us again to go through another level of knowledge and information and inspiration as we do right here in the Tiger's Nest. The Honorable Empress Naya is with us. Blessed love, Honorable Empress. Oh, give thanks. Give thanks for the life giver and the keeper of life. And family, tonight we will be going into the whole aspect of natural child birthing. We have a wonderful workshop upcoming, which will be presented by Redemption Healing. Of course, the facilitator for this event is the Honorable Empress Naya. Of course, the Honorable Empress Naya is coming with all of her credentials. We're going to be speaking with her in a few moments, speaking of the works that she's also doing here at the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Specifically, she is the Dean of the International Homeschool Program for sure, and definitely great things are going on even in that department. But we are highlighting and concentrating more so tonight on the upcoming Natural Child Birthing Workshop. And this is scheduled for the 9th of May. This is Monday, the 9th of May, 2022. So this is just a few strongs away from now. And family, this is the virtual edition. Now, as I said, the Honorable Empress, who will be facilitating it, she is a certified and professional international doula. She herself will give you some more information as it relates to that in a few moments. And family, remember that this event is a workshop, not a lecture, not a presentation, a workshop given to you by a certified professional in the field. And at the end of the workshop, all of you who will be there, those who will officially register to be there, will receive a certificate of attendance. So that is a serious thing. So I personally am inviting you, family. This is, mark the date, this is Monday, the 9th of May. It will begin at 8 p.m. sharp. That's Eastern Caribbean time. At this time, it's aligned with the Eastern Standard Time as well. So once you understand Eastern Standard Time, Greenwich Mean Time, Japanese time, Beijing time, everything will fall in order once you go and observe what time it will be in your space, because this is an international event specifically. So I'm saying again, it's Monday night of May. And family, the admission for this workshop is only $50, and you get a special price if you reserve your spot before the 2nd of May, which is the upcoming Monday from now. the 2nd of May. I don't think anyone would want to pass up that opportunity. And if I'm not mistaken, although it's virtual, the space will be limited. So I'm asking ones not to procrastinate on that specific venture there. So you know what to do. Just contact us, email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com. Visit the website, priestisaacinstitute.com, and definitely make your purchase, get more information, and definitely the Honorable Empress Naya also, as you would know, is the host of our Wednesday program on Radio Anno, which comes on every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m., which is Redemption Healing itself. So I am positive even this Wednesday, the Honorable Empress will be going even more into what will be coming up for the workshop. But this evening, the goddess is going to bless us with a, how should I call it, a short presentation, maybe an introduction to what the family will be getting on Monday. But before we go there, let me again say blessed love to the Empress. Give thanks again for gracing us here in the Tiger's Nest with your presence. Blessed love.
Okay, blessed love. Give thanks to the mighty life giver and the keeper of life. Emperor Haile Selassie and Empress Menen. I Selassie Jah Rastafari.
Rastafari. Yes, Goddess, give thanks, As I said, this workshop that you will be bringing to us, in all humility, I would say that you bring so much qualification, not just to this workshop and to the table, but even to the institute itself, and anyone who is paying attention, you are a certified yoga instructor. You're qualified in so many different fields, even down to the culinary arts. You have your master degrees and bachelor degrees in different subject areas. You are a alumni of Howard University. Let me make sure I have it straight. You have your masters in history and your bachelors in I have it correct, right? And your bachelors in language arts.
Correct. Yeah.
Even you yourself have
that's correct.
So much qualifications. Even you yourself have to say, yeah, I think you have it in order. But yet still now, what you're bringing to us, you're bringing another level now. And in all humility, even I myself was, lacking void when it comes to understanding exactly what a doula is. Of course, you have definitely exposed that to myself, and I have a greater understanding of that. Give thanks for such. But before we go too deep into it, give the family an idea of exactly what a certified professional international doula is, and how it's connected to natural childbirth in general. Blessed love.
Blessed. Yes, so specifically with my cohort, because I trained in Costa Rica, and I think it was about 2018 is when I had completed my training. So with my cohort, we trained in Costa Rica. We had an opportunity to learn about the holistic practice of supporting one through birth holistically. So that's with ritual, that's with pretty much emotional support, physical support, and also studying the medical, the medical terminologies, the medical usage, like how we are basically expressed and used within the space of Western medicine. As women who are, with wombs and who are giving births, or just as women with wombs in general. So with that, the international aspect of being a doula is just knowing the different nuances of childbirth as it relates to the culture as it is in the US, the culture as it is in different places, you know. So it just encompasses what various cultures does, right, in terms of spiritually, ritualistically, and then also with consideration of the laws, you know, the laws around birth, because the laws vary, you know, it is legal in the United States to give birth freely without any medical supervision, without any medical advice, but in other places, it would be forbidden, it would be illegal, and the government itself or the laws itself can take actions towards the woman. So it's just that is the awareness when it comes to the international aspect, is just being able to navigate through the system in such a strategic way where you're not putting yourself at risk and anyone else who's involved within the process of it. So that's the brink of that. As it relates to my qualifications specifically, I traveled within various arenas of holistic practice. So during a certain period when I was, say, in graduate school, I took it upon myself to study the arts of various practice such as yoga, hatha yoga, kundalini yoga, and yoga as in fully, for the specific purpose of serving women who were prenatal and postnatal. That was my aim, which was to work with really pregnant women. So I had it in my mind that I would be working at a capacity as a doula, you know, doing healing work. So with that also, I traveled to learn culinary experiences, how to maintain a plant-based diet, how to, and to really study the science of food, I would say, and then the level of, you know, preparation and just the awareness of, you know, different foods that are native to different lands, and how it can enrich, you know, the essence of a woman to give birth to a vibrant and a healthy and I would say less of a spiritually heavier child, like, because that and that has its own levels to it, because certain choices that, you know, one makes as it relates to preconception and especially pregnancy can really impact the level or the energy or the weight of in which a child can carry, you know. So pretty much the practice that I pretty much studied and cultivated myself within is to keep my odd perspective as it relates to reincarnating life, to keep a perspective of righteousness, and to keep a perspective of as I'm thinking, the term that I'm thinking about is karmic energy, like to lessen the depth of karmic energy. And I've cultivated that, the awareness of that, and even the practices of that through the international program that I studied with which I believe they're still doing trainings in Ghana or in specifically that part of the Americas, which is Costa Rica, and then also in Baltimore, Maryland, with that particular midwife. And then from there, I continued forward the journey with yoga through yoga school. And that was pretty much for that reasons, to be able to utilize it within my practice. But then that became something greater. It became like my own means and expression of healing myself. And then the culinary perspective again was inspired by that. So to add to those two, when I was doing my studies in the universities that I attended, which were two that which I graduated from. One was Howard University, that was the most recent graduation. And then the other university was in Pennsylvania, up in the mountains, basically. It was to learn about the history of women experiences as it is related to women's studies. You know, I studied women's studies in undergraduate and I received certifications in that. And then I continued my studies at Howard and studied women's studies, which was a totally radical in its thinking. It was totally a different expression. I mean, in that space, it was more as African centered, you know, so we were speaking about we were really learning, well, the professor was speaking about the cultures of women, of Black women from, you know, the continent of Africa, the African diaspora, so all over, and how gender was being really expressed and how it was in the culture, within American culture, within, it was more of a unity kind of practice and study around women's history, women's studies, which actually gave me more perspective and more connection to my femininity, just from an intellectual basis. But still, it was very, very helpful. So in turn, I used a lot of that energy and I started to do more focus and research around, you know, this whole phenomenon around really birth. It was really just birth, which was something that I kind of became obsessed with. Childbirth is something, you know, and there's still a level of obsession that I have, but it's a healthy one because it's more so really getting into the levels of manipulation, the levels of lack of transparency, the levels of deception, the levels of cruelty. I mean, those are the best ways that I can describe how Western medicine treats women, Black women. When I say women, I'm thinking about Black women, right? Women who are of African descent, how they treat us as test subjects, how they treat us as pretty much chattel slavery still. I mean, it's just that, I mean, we're in times where we may seem to be more freer, but the concepts around Western medicine in the womb is very rooted in those particular eras of history where it was extreme racism, extreme oppression, and no justice for it. So all of those, I guess, experiences and awarenesses and research and studies shaped my I guess, presence as a doula. And of course, there's more layers to it at that, more layers than, you know, what I can explain in setting. But I expect to explain more about those layers in the workshop so that people are fully aware of the depthness of what is, you know, happening on both seen and unseen levels as it relates to humanity and as it relates to the creation of life.
Well, you know, it's obvious that there's more, you know, this is deeper. You could see where, you know, it has rounded you. I can obviously see the different aspects of your training and experience. Really, everything seems to be complementing everything, even your accomplishments. It seems like everything is working in unison, you know, and even though I know that personally, even just listening to you discuss this here with us is like I'm learning it on another level again, and that is straight up, eh? So I could imagine the depths we will be going, even as you said, at that workshop. But you know, since we mentioned the workshop too, I know that you have a small presentation to give us this evening that I know many of the people in the audience are looking forward to. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to free up the screen now so that you can share your screen, and I'm just going to allow you to bring forward your presentation in whatever way you know, feel that you have to do that. And so that the audience specifically could at least get an idea of where we will be going even on the 9th of May. So let me just make sure you have permission to share your screen there. Oh yes, you are there. You can definitely share it when you're ready. And let me just remind the family that the Honorable Empress will be facilitating a mighty workshop. And again, that will be on Monday, the 9th of May. That's Monday, the 9th of May. That will be 8 p.m. sharp. That's 8 p.m. sharp. And of course, it's 8 until 10. And well, you're going to get a little preview, I should say, at this moment of exactly what will be presented to you. The contribution for the workshop or admission, you know, for your spot is only $50. If you can really wrap your mind around, you know, the quality of what you'll be getting for such price. And listen to this, you even get a $15 off if you purchase your ticket or purchase your spot before the 2nd of May, which is next upcoming Monday. All right, the Honorable Goddess is ready. So yes, Empress, I'll let the eye take it over from here. Blessed Lord.
All right. Blessed, give thanks once more, forevermore. This, so this is basically, as the Honorable Priest Isaac was expressing, this is going to be a part of the 2-hour workshop as it relates to natural childbirth. And this particular section here is related to the 4th trimester, right? So we know that there's many trimesters, more than the 3, you know, at least in the holistic aspect of birth. We have the preconception, which is its own stage within pregnancy. So that's a trimester. And then we have pregnancy. And then within pregnancy, that journey has trimesters. So you have your first trimester, you have your second trimester, and you have your third trimester. But because we've already considered preconception as a stage of pregnancy, those are 4 trimesters, right? Well, preconception is its own thing. I'll figure out what to call it But this trimester is the 4th trimester. So this is the most important trimester as it relates to healing after birth. You know, this is one of those areas within pregnancy that is considered a perinatal experience. It's at the end. And what some people may know about postpartum is that it can last from anywhere between 3 weeks to, say, 6 months after you've given birth. But in my conception and reality of post-birth, and in many other holistic practitioners' practices, postpartum can be extended for 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, without the awareness of it. So in this section of am I there? Did I go out? Am I still with you?
Yes, you're still there. You're doing good. Yeah, positive. Keep going. You're still perfect. There. And, the logo came up, but you're good. You're good.
Okay. Perfect. So in this process of the childbirthing journey, which is the postpartum, the afterbirth experience, right? It is so important to really prepare yourself for what is to come, to prepare your family for what is to come as it relates to the mother healing herself, the mother's acclimating herself to motherhood, even if it's the 3rd, the 2nd child. There's always a level of adjustment that is occurring on a physical level, for sure, on a biological level, for sure, because of the hormones are no longer at the levels that they were when she was pregnant. So the hormones pretty much changes overnight in terms of the pregnancy hormones. And also as it relates to the unseen realms of healing, this is where sensitivity is still there. In fact, sensitivity has even increased because all of our maternal instincts are pretty much in full, in full heightness and full in its fullness, So I wanted to spend some time to actually begin with the postpartum. There's so many medical terminologies out there, so many medical diagnoses out there for women who are within these stages. Healing after birth, you have postpartum mood disorder, you have postpartum depression, and those are 2. So let's start with newborn care, because that's also a sub topic within postpartum healing. Is to just have awareness of how to care for a newborn, and also to be aware of the well-being of your the mama that just given birth, or yourself if you are that mama. So I have a list of things, and we can go through these things together, starting with the first recommendation, which is taking care of yourself, right? So this idea of taking care of yourself it's so nuanced. What I've named is just a hint of what needs to be done, but it's an actual large step towards self-care methods when in the afterbirth stages. So you want to have an eat to live diet, right? Or to have an eat to live consumption. And that's pretty much what we go through in the nutritional aspect of postpartum birth. And All of us and any of us who are familiar with Eat to Live is to really focus on energy giving foods and not foods that really depletes the life force energy or our spiritual energy, foods that really feed and activate that. And the reasons why it's important for the mama and how it reflects to the newborn care aspect is because whatever we eat and put into our temples within our goodies is what the child itself, the newborn, the new life will be fed as well and nourished with as well. So we want to make sure that we're consuming things that nourishes us, that gives us energy, that helps with healing the womb, whatever we may have experienced during that pregnancy. So we're going to assume that this is a natural pregnancy, so and a natural birth. So not really thinking about a C-section or certain things that are done in the Western practice of childbirthing, such as medical interventions. We're going to think about healing a goodie that has just had a natural birth. So what that would consist of is eating soups, having as much as a variety of herbs and vegetables within our soups. And the kind of herbs that I'm speaking about more so is culinary herbs, herbs that are of culinary, for culinary usage. Let me go back there. The foods that I'm considering for soups are vegetables. We want to make sure we stay away from certain vegetables. So vine foods, we want to really avoid that because foods have its own spirit, right? So we want to make sure that we're giving ourselves foods that has both a pleasant spirit and also foods that has a lot of life force energy. So one thing about soups, eating idle soup, or if you just consider it to be soup, is you want to make sure that you don't cook all of the life out of your food, right? And that, say, if you're cooking things that has, a like firmness to its essence, like a crunch, or things that may take a lot of chewing, to digest. You always want to make sure that the pieces are as small as they can be, so it's not too difficult to consume them. So for instance, with cabbage, shredded cabbage, are an easier way to prepare within soup and to actually consume. And if you want to dice your cabbage, you can dice it as well. Another vegetable that comes to mind is carrots. You would want to most definitely, because those carrots takes time to actually to become soft. You would actually want to dice it or chop it as much as you can. I like to put things into the food processor. It does a really good job with making everything extremely small and digestible for that matter. Other ideas as it relates to Eat to Live is hydration, drinking plenty of liquids that are with no preservatives at all. I do not recommend anything that is store-bought juice. I don't recommend it. I recommend making juice with raw vegetables, raw fruits, purchasing the fruits, blending it up in a specific base, making smoothies from scratch, even if it's, because we can find smoothies blended up in bottles and sold in the grocery store and a health food store, but that's not necessarily healthy because the containers itself, you know, are typically made with plastic. So we're considering that having its own level of chemical experience. And then we're also saying that shelf life, anything that has months and months and days or years of a shelf life isn't real. It isn't live food. It isn't living hydration. It's preserves. It's made with preservative matter. It's made with chemicals that's used to keep the life. So with that being said, when something is made with chemicals and preservatives, it changes the nutritional value of it. It changes. I mean, I know there's like a nutrition label that tells you it has this minerals, it has this vitamins, and it's good for this, but you know, those store-bought smoothies and those store-bought juices with the preserves in it and how it's bottled and how it's prepared through a manufactured facility, through that level of experience and exchange. The reality of it is it's dead. It's not alive. So you want to make sure that you're giving yourself life, because that's what you're giving your offspring, your child, you know, your newborn is, you're giving them life, you know, and you're giving yourself a level of good intentions, a good spirit, you know, just from what you're consuming. So, and again, when we're making juices and things like that, as I'm into this order of Bogo Shanti, we want to avoid only if that's, you know, what you are, you know, trodden in terms of faith, but you want to avoid vine consumption. So the best sources of hydration is plenty of juices like apple juice, water, coconut water, sugar cane juice. And then, you know, I in other presentations, I'll give more explanation in terms of, okay, well, how do you juice? Like juicing adequate for, you know, perinatal women. And then we have the other element, which is air, you know. Yes, so air is an important aspect as it relates to perinatal healing. The more oxygen that we intake, the more it nourishes our goodies. So women who are within post-birth may not be ready to be mobile on a yoga mat and to do a physical practice. Well, and if you're not already into the practice of yoga, the simple conscious breath technique, conscious breathing, is a necessary component for taking care of oneself, for maintaining balance, because oxygen itself has its own healing properties. And I mean, we know that there's a lot of chemical matter in the air. We are aware of that, you know, but we're using the elements itself still to get the level of holiness retained, the level of clarity, you know, retained, and the level of wholeness there, you know. So we have the eat to live consumption concept. The hydration is so important, especially when just giving birth naturally and losing so much fluids. You're losing, you know, fluids, blood, and then you're already in the midst of losing more fluid because we're on to the practice of breastfeeding, which is done immediately after one gives birth. Baby is given skin to skin contact with mama, and then automatically we're putting the breast in the baby's mouth so that the baby can be nourished, can feel the vibration of the mama, and to have that connection nurtured still out of the womb. All of these things are so important and so vital. I actually spend more time providing more research, more tools, a list of more things as it relates to what to consume, the regimens of how to consume, because I myself have a concept of you want to eat light as much as you can, and the lightness is in terms a spiritual result of maintaining light within oneself, and also staying connected to the Most High and the will of the Most High. So, you know, to start with a light consumption, to increasingly build your consumption, and then to have one forceful, you know, life force giving meal. So I get more in depth with that throughout the workshop. You would expect that. And then I have this concept of sleep when babies sleep, which is so important, sleeping when the babies sleep, because you have gone through so many months, we're counting at least 10 months, you know, of cultivating life within you. And then within that journey, depending on how your experience was, what your environment was, what your support system was, who was on your birthing team, and even also depending on if you were already a mother to begin with, you're going to want to prioritize your rest, especially in the 4th trimester. And those will be good habits for maintaining your mental wellness, your physical wellness, your emotional wellness, and in your spiritual wellness. And this will help you to maintain a level of balance as you're connecting with your newborn baby. So we're just going to continue to go through this list, and this is going to be, when I get to 10, this is going to be it for this demo. So the next suggestion or recommendation that I have is establishing boundaries, basically, with your loved ones. And you want to most definitely build on this one. This is something that you just don't want to come up with out of nowhere. When bringing new life into your family, and if you're a mother that is experiencing your first birth, your first child, you want to have healthy communications with your king man, with your husband, with your child's father, about what your boundaries are, and also learn his in terms of during the pregnancy and then after the pregnancy, right? So I have this thing that a mom should be within hibernation mode. I believe that a mother should spend whether it's a mother who's having birth again, or a mother who's birthing for the first time, that she should be within her own space. And healthy boundaries are important to set with loved ones. And this is why you should come to the course, the workshop, so that I can get more in depth with what those boundaries are. So you want to prepare for your newborn with baby essentials, and you'll get more in terms of what that preparation looks like. Expect a roller coaster as it relates to emotions. Now, this is within the male and female aspect, mama and baba aspect of it, or abba aspect of it. You want to relax your standards, get out of the house, accept a helping hand. So this is specifically dealing with the mother. Nurture other relationships, always stay present, and know when to seek assistance. I don't want to say help, because I feel like help, and I'm gonna change the language. I feel like seek additional help, meaning like maybe from a doctor or something like that. But we have all that we need, and to just knowing how to utilize what we have. So I'm going to stop there, and just to let you all know that I have more reason as it relates to abbas and dads and postpartum support within your healing journey, and also as it relates to supporting your empress, breastfeeding benefits, breastfeeding, teaching, for some trainings. Breastfeeding is a certain is its own course, is a separate course, and especially when you are seeking to become certified within as a childbirth worker, you would want to, or you would be required to take a breastfeeding course, or a lactation course, as they would say. But even still, as a doula, as a natural doula, breastfeeding is an essential piece when it comes to the aspect of postpartum healing, afterbirth healing. There's a specific science, and a specific science, a spiritual connection. Each time when the baby, latches onto the breast, and it takes place within the heart space of a woman, and also within her second heart space, which is her uterus, her womb. So these are things to expect for sure for this particular workshop. Many may know that there is statistics, or I guess research as it relates to that's out there and that's circulating as it relates to infant mortality, that Black women have a higher percentage when it comes to infant mortality. I'm not quite sure if this research is true, but I'm all for awareness, and I'm all for saving lives. So we have information as it relates to, just being present with your newborn and with your infant, so you can avoid unfortunate tragedies that take place within those areas, because the baby is more vulnerable within that. Life itself is it's a very sensitive thing. It's a very fragile thing. But when the baby is at that stage of life, it's more susceptible to, tragedy. So we're going to most definitely speak about, how to protect ourselves, how to ground ourselves, how to be strong nurturers, because we're going to be more so educated. These are the things that I must say, I myself have lived and experienced within my own lifetime, at least my great grandmothers, my great grandmothers, and my grandmother, and then my mother. And none of these women passed and shared this information to me. So it's actually in these times, we should most definitely be intentional about what kinds of information that we're digesting and taking in, and especially as women, and with all of the things that are happening within, reality as it relates to, medical malpractice, as it relates to, just lost information within our lineage from various reasons and various angles that we should most definitely fully invest in ourselves more. Now, even though I'm saying women, that's because I'm a woman, but this is something that, you know, as Honorable Priest Isaac has reasoned with myself and with in this level of awareness and gaining attention for this this event, is that the male aspect, the masculine energy, there should be some education happening on you all's part as well, so that this isn't just our, you know, our responsibility, our duty. This is a family, you know, we're very oriented in the family aspect of it. So this is something that the males must know. This is something that we can most definitely even educate our young ones. You know, if you're already a mother, you know, and if you have had birth, and most likely if you are a mother who have had birth and you've had birth within the hospital, you can already identify and relate to the importance of this workshop. Because from my understanding within the practice and from how I've observed it from other doulas and practices of other midwives, is that every woman has something to say about their experience within the hospital. So there's a lot of trauma energy there. There's a lot of trauma tactics there, fear tactics there, that would, you know, really, it should even be sort of much an encouragement in terms of learning about this postpartum experience, about this pregnancy experience, about this preconception experience naturally. So I just wanted to give thanks and to seal that up. So Honorable Priest Isaac,
that's wonderful. Yes, Goddess, blessed love, give thanks. I would say give thanks for the short presentation, you know, because specifically, you know, there's so much, I know, more detail that you can get into there. And as you clearly said, on Monday, well, Monday the 9th for sure, we'll be in a better position to have a deeper understanding of all that you've been presenting to us. Yeah, as you said, you know, even on the holistic level, I don't know if you want to free up your camera when you get a chance to it. Even though, you know, as you said, what we're getting there, you know, this is very holistic in the sense that one thing you had.
Oh, pardon me. I'm trying to get my camera to work. It's not working.
Okay, well, no problem. I'll see on my side. But what I'm saying is one of the things that I highlight, sorry. One of the things that you highlighted, I should say, is the whole aspect of that the second heart space is the womb. So, you know, when you start to speak like that, we can see we're going to a real different level, you know, because you're coming now on a very spiritual level. You're bringing childbirth down to the soul, and of course, on that physical level that I guess most of us are accustomed to, because many people may not go into talking about no second heart space, but they can tell you about the trauma experience going through these hospitals, you know, as they're called. And again, even just meditating on that second heart space, and you could see how the womb has been so persecuted, you know, meaning the womb has been traumatized in general from the food that they give the woman to eat, all of us in general, you know, but trust me, it's like an agenda to traumatize the womb of the woman, you know. And then they tell you about, oh, you have cysts on your ovaries, or you have some fibroids growing inside or outside. I think we got to get the knife and cut you open and shave it off. Or in fact, how old are you? 29. Okay, we'll just pull out your womb. You don't need that anymore. And that sort of stuff. And that happens daily. I mean, regularly, you know, but it goes over the heads of many, many of us. So I see you bringing this to a level that I know many women can attest to. That's number one. And I'm happy that you brought in the components of the brothers, man, because, you know, we tend to believe that, you know, we put a bread in the oven or something and we can just go away and maybe somebody will bake it for us. And again, because we are so disconnected from who we are, we don't understand how much connection we have with our children that we create as male figures, just in the same way that the woman is connected to that youth via the physical, you know, like what she eats, the youth eats. What you eat is not what the youth eat, you know. As the man, what you put in, outside of what you put in before, because this is another level. I mean, you're breaking this down so deep, eh? Of course, the pre-pregnant conception stage, preconceived stage, obviously, is the makeup of the male and female. But when the sperm is lodged in the womb, the development of the child is really inside of the incubator called the woman. But I am saying, in the same way that the woman is connected with that child physically, it's the same way that the man is connected with the same child on a spiritual level. But remember, we are taught to totally negate that spiritual stuff. We only deal with what we can see with our eyes. And even what we can see with our eyes, we still don't deal with it properly, you know, holistically and even in the right way. So I know I'm just kind of speaking out of excitement, to be honest, with all that up there a moment ago. And yeah, you saying, but
yeah, and again, you know, like I said, this is something where, you know, as women or, you know, as empresses, you know, sometimes we kind of miss the puberty talk, you know, the aspect of becoming, you know, a woman, and what it means to, you know, to experience the cycle. See, this is what the preconception part of that, you know, really touches on. And I get more in deep as it relates to the nutritional aspect. With the culinary background, I actually provide strong tools for consumption, as I said previously. And then also speaking about this intentional preparation, this intentional awareness, actually being intentional is so important when creating life, because that has its own spirit and energy too. And that goes back into the idea or the concept of lessening one's karmic debt, or making the soul transition from the spiritual realm into the earth side much more easier, more lighter, because there is a love connection there. There is an actual welcoming there. And then I'm thinking, as you were saying about the aspect as it relates to men, you know, we may have had sex education classes and things like that, but how shallow, you know, how shallow these courses were, and they are, truly doesn't really prepare us for anything but to fail, you know. So I mean, with this level of engagement, you can most definitely expect a training of a workshop that really speaks to the aspect of as if you were going to a regular childbirth and education class. So you got that, right? That's for people who are interested in becoming doulas or midwives. This is where you can start that journey.
So you're saying, because as we know, they'll be, I like to say, I hope I'm saying the right thing when I advertise it. I like to say, not that they will be certified, but they will get a certification of attendance. So tell us how much value that certification of attendance really would have for someone that wanted to, you know, go more deeper into a career similar to yours, or one of your careers.
Yeah. So this would actually be I mean, you would be supporting a black owned institute, a black owned certifier. you would be supporting myself. This is actually, this certificate of completion can be used if you, want it as a token, of attainment or achievement, as a parent who has invested in preparing for, your children, or as a parent who just want to be more knowledgeable. And then on another side, if you are specifically interested in the aspect of being a birth worker or a birth keeper, or a midwife or a lactation consultant, or someone who's working in that realms of advocacy. So a birth worker would be myself, a doula. You can use this and apply it towards your full certification in the area in which you choose to fulfill. So whether that's a doula or a midwife, so it's actually, this is, yes, a workshop, but it is going to be a certificate of completion to have.
Completion.
You are asked to present it to, your doula training program for full certification, or whether it's a lactation, more so a doula or a midwife. So I know for sure with lactation consultants, or with a person who's a breastfeeding counselor, this is an added plus, so.
Honorable Empress, wow, we could go on forever. It's obvious that you're well-rounded here. And even before we highlight the event again, I just want the family to know that they can actually reach out to you, obviously, within the different fields. For example, well, as I said earlier, you can see where even the yoga becomes a part of even the doula practice, so everything is really holistic. But to the audience, even outside of the workshop, you are an individual that they can reach out to. You give consultations privately. You have classes privately as it relates to the very same career area, being yoga, and of course, as far as, guiding women and families in general through the whole process of bringing forward a life into the earth. That's for sure. So once an individual has these concerns outside of the workshop, they can still contact you right here at the Institute for sure. Once you email the Institute, the Honorable Empress, you will be speaking to it. That's the Institute, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. And for sure. But as far as the workshop again now, just reminding the family that the workshop would be Monday, the 9th of May. 2022. It will be 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. The admission is only $50. Let me ask you, Empress. I hope I don't put you down the spot. A workshop like this, how much would it really cost? Because we know it's blessed. Let's talk straight. You're in the field.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so with this workshop, it's originally priced at $100 originally. But I've tailored it enough where it's more, I would say, economical. It's more accessible to people who are unfamiliar, but who are clearly there within their heart space to learn how to heal within their family, how to, really to provide for their family from a holistic perspective. So for this class, it's going to be $35 US. Sometimes you can,
if they get their tickets today, they get it for $35.
Yes.
Or before the second.
That's how we have it here within our scope within the Institute. And I also wanted to add, as you were saying, that people can contact me. I want to be really specific on what I can be contacted for, right? So if you're interested, or if you're a woman who are fruitful, or if you're interested in becoming fruitful and you're having challenges like certain barriers such as fertility or again, cysts and fibroids within your womb space, and you're seeking to become fruitful, or you just do not want that within you at all. I work with women on those levels. I work with women as a doula. I work as a virtual doula. I provide support via birth doula, postpartum doula. My main expression within the practice is I'm natural. So I utilize the elements, nature, such as food, such as the practice of yoga, as you were saying, to really help with making that a full, healthy, and whole experience, because pregnancy can go any way. It can go to one extreme and it can go to another extreme, but I'm there to establish a level of balance, a level of, harmony and peace. So that is with that. Also, I've had previously women just connect with me who were just interested in lifestyle changes and lifestyle adjustments. So if you are aware of your lifestyle, but if you are seeking some level of support, I'm always open to reasoning with you, to connecting with you. I don't really have a service in place to address that, but I do provide a level of virtual assistant as it relates to health, so a wellness assistant to an extent. And my demographics typically tends to be with empresses. That's just how that's how I move within the scope of wellness. There's my own journeys with that, my own motivations towards that. I want to make sure, that as melanated, as African women, as Black women, that we are whole and healthy enough to really to serve ourselves and to serve our families, and in turn to serve our communities. And the only ways that we can do that is if we're really being proactive about our mental health, our emotional health, through those capacities and expressions. So yes, give thanks.
Honorable Empress, we'll seal it there. Give thanks for your presence with us. Your beautiful soul. Give thanks continually for brightening up Tiger's Nest with that energy there. So family, I think you have the full perspective there in front of you. Come and learn the art of giving birth. But as you can see, it's more than that. We can obviously see this is something maybe beyond where we were thinking for sure. And that is Monday, the 9th of May. The Honorable Empress humbly said the ticket is only $35. You know why she said? Because she know you ain't gonna waste no time. Nobody should be buying no $50 ticket for this event. It's $50 if you get your ticket after the 2nd of May, but everyone should definitely take advantage of that $35 slot. And for sure, remember, it is virtual, but we're using a specific webinar platform. So it's actually limited space. You understand? I mean, things can change, you could definitely, you could boost up and all kind of things, but where we are at the moment, it's a certain amount. So the space is already limited. So don't be waiting for the last minute to see if you can creep into this, because it's definitely something you don't want to miss. Yes, it's going to be a wonderful sit down, a wonderful session. I myself looking forward to that. Again, I mean, sisters and brothers, if you are fruitful or pregnant, I'm going to repeat, sisters and brothers, if you are fruitful and pregnant or looking forward to, or even if you just gave birth, you could still, of course, the workshop is for you, but you could definitely contact us here at the Institute to get more assistance, even as it relates to that. And remember, even within our community, we have practitioners dealing with health and wellness and so many different things. So it's a network of people we have. We connect with many other people, so don't be afraid to contact us, whatever you think the problem is, because we can assist you one way or the other to find a solution. So Honorable Empress, give thanks. Any sealing words before we seal this one here?
Yeah, so again, just an overview. You will learn about me as more so of an intimate exchange. That's how it works within these settings. You get more intimate.
It's going to be interactive, isn't it? The workshop.
Yeah, it's going to be most definitely Q&A at the end, and I have a special offering for
pen and
those.
pads. And pen and pads.
Oh yes, most definitely you most definitely want to take notes. Now, typically for my full price $100 class, you get all of the notes, you get all of the goodies and applications moving forward. But for this, I would encourage you to take notes.
Right.
You get to know more about myself within the practice, and then you get to know natural. And not a lot of us aren't natural as it relates to on this subject and interest. So that's a blessing. And we most definitely want to be proactive with learning, and evolve.
You were saying you had a special offer, but I jumped in the middle there.
They will know. So please come to the workshop. You will know that toward the end of the workshop, you would actually know what the special offering is, and it's specific, and it's specifically related to the subject of the workshop, which is natural childbirthing. So please come and please learn. There's never a time that we should stop learning. We should always invest in ourselves, even if it takes a few dollars. There should never be a point where we feel like we've reached our point of completion. So we're going to continue to evolve so that we can get to where we need to go on different planes. So yes, all right.
Wonderful, goddess. Give thanks. I will assist you going out and have a few words with my audience afterwards. Blessed love. Give thanks. Oh yeah, that was wonderful there. So just a reminder, family, of course, remember that you could make your payments for this workshop. You could utilize our CashApp. You could utilize the PayPal. The link is in the description below this video. Just scroll down and you could press it and get your spot now. Only $35. Make sure you don't, you don't want to be late and then we say, boy, don't pack up and everything and maybe we're going to have a next one. No, come on. Listen, this is such an important workshop. I was sitting here and I'm listening to the things that the Empress bringing out there. And remember, at the same time, this is information, some of which I would have already been privy to. But then you could see that the Empress went into teaching mode in the sense as preparing you to come and sit into the workshop. So I can see this is going to be definitely a dynamic affair. You can see the Honorable Empress is very professional and even very gentle in her expression, just to be apt for the subject area as well. So I am looking forward to such an explosion of information and inspiration on that day. And remember, you could also reach out to us via the email, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, for any other questions you may have. You may have some other concerns family-wise as it relates to, pregnancy and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, definitely contact us and the Honorable Empress would give you much more detail. So yes, family, you don't know what's next, eh? The Tiger's Nest, man. Remember to tune into the Tiger's Nest tonight, man. Tonight, Monday it is, eh? Yeah, what is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. sharp. Tiger's Nest, Radio Anu. You don't know how to get the Radio Anu? You do the same thing. The information is in the description below. You go down, you scroll down the description of the video, you find the link and you press Radio Anu. I'm talking about the Tiger's Nest tonight. Enough things we have to talk about. The so-called royal family pasture here today. Man, you should have seen all. Anyway, I'll speak about that when we get there, I'll give you a little rundown on exactly what happened. And of course, we have other serious business to touch upon in the Tiger's Nest. What do you say? You won't be there for the Tiger's Nest? It's all right. Just subscribe. You know how to do that, don't you? Subscribe for the Tiger's Nest. Make sure that you become a part of the subscription team. So each and every day when the Tiger's Nest is done, you get the Tiger's Nest program in your inbox. Just contact us and get some more information. It's only $20 a month to subscribe to the Tiger's Nest. And if you take a 6 months, it's more inexpensive. And if you take a year's subscription for the Tiger's Nest and you divide the programs, each program is like 20-something cents, not more than 30 cents per program. We have worked it out already. So you can see for the value of what you're getting in the Tiger's Nest is very, very inexpensive, you know. So I'm looking forward to your presence with us this evening. And if not, just link us and we'll tell you how you can hear all the Tiger's Nest programs that we have available coming out every evening. All right, so wonderful family. Yes, looking forward to your presence everywhere. And remember, there are many, many, many lions dens, but there's only one Tiger's Nest. Yeah. Life giver and the keeper of life. Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Blessed.
Hi, my name is Nyla, and I am 7 years old. I like my astronomy class, and I am loving it. And I've been learning my planets like the moon and Earth and the Venus, Mercury, and astronomy class is awesome. I've been learning about like Egypt and that stuff. And king and queens and and pyramids and
What do you think thus far of the International Homeschool program?
I believe it's the best investment I could have made for my daughter and for myself as well, because learning astronomy and African heritage, it was needed. It was much needed,
Blessed my family, do you have your copy of the True Biblical Land of Israel? No? Well, visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, and order your copy today. The True Biblical Land of Israel, originally a theological paper, proves to the reader that the land of Israel, according to the biblical geographic description, is Africa plus Arabia. Most definitely a must-read for all. And while you are at it, our other books, namely The Heavens Declare the Glory, Rastafari and the Cosmos, as well as Anu, Ancient and Modern Revisited, are definitely of interest to all. Each book goes for only $20, but when you order the 3 together, you get them for only $50. So visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us today, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com. Blessed reading.